The arrest of Tommy Robinson shocked the world, the informed part anyway. You'd be forgiven for thinking it never happened, but as the Buddha said, the truth cannot be long hidden, and people saw the truth in all its glory. That truth is those who hold the power do not want you to know the truth. They want it hidden because it threatens their power, and the peace, apparently. The truth is, a hostile force has invaded Europe, and European leaders are either part of it or too cowardly to do anything about it. Their dream is a world without borders, and the enemy of that dream is Christianity, individualism, and the national identities that spring up from both. They despise the informed plebs who dare challenge the authority that cost the elites their souls. They allowed the enemy through the gates, then suppressed any mention of their treason. A snake oil salesman sells you the world, then delivers an atlas. A modern politician tells lies, then delivers hell. The modern politician is worse than a snake oil salesman. At least the snake oil salesman makes their own snake oil. A modern politician steals your money and uses it to entrench their own power. Barely a week after Tommy was arrested, unelected elites revealed their plan to change copyright laws and remove fair use rights on all media in Europe. They want to force people to pay for the right to simply link and review content. It's a proposal designed to do nothing more than entrench established corporate media and destroy independent upstarts. It's the worst kind of cronyism, because not only is it using power to entrench the elite, it's completely removing the right to free speech for all Europeans. The idea that one should have to pay simply to quote another publication is appalling. Treason is not a strong enough word to describe many who occupy the seats of power in the West, and those in Europe are the worst of the lot. They invite the enemy through the gates, steal from their own citizens in order to support the enemy, turn a blind eye to the enemy's worst atrocities, and throw those in prison who dare speak of it. They abuse their power to solidify the wealth of their friends and suppress their subjects. What words can describe actions as horrendous as this? What right do they have to inflict this on their own people? They act against their own, and they act against God. They spit on the sacrifice of millions to keep their grubby hands on the reins of violence for just a little bit longer, to enrich themselves at the expense of their own people and their own nations. God is love and the truth. Those who speak truth with love are closest to God, and we are all God's child. Satan is immorality and evil. Satan is violence and the improper use of power. Satan is lies, fraud, and sophistry. All traitors are Satan, and Satan is the evil that resides within us. Jesus taught us the truth, and the truth is there is no higher love than God, because God is love and God is the truth. You cannot hide from the truth, and you cannot hide from God. Those who speak the truth to power with courage are the true heroes. Those who stand up for what is good despite great risk are what Jesus taught us to be. Maligned by the media and the public for years, Tommy stood firm because he knew what was right. He saw what was happening in his town. He saw the truth, and he told everyone about it. They called him a racist and a national socialist. They assaulted him. They put him in prison. They threatened his life and the life of his family. But he just kept talking. He kept talking because he knew he was right, and it didn't matter what happened to him, because his mission is one from God, whether he believes it or not. Now, after more than a decade of attacks and threats, he's been sent to prison on the charge of breaching the peace. Anyone who saw the arrest knows this is bogus. No peace was breached. No law was broken. He was thrown in prison at the discretion of a corrupt judge and a worried establishment. You see, after more than a decade of attacks and threats, Tommy is no longer a bad guy in the eyes of the public. Sure, A few still believe the lies, as they always will, but the masses have woken up to those lies, and this scares the snakes. Nothing threatens a snake more than detection. Only the blind cannot see them now. Arresting Tommy was one of the worst things they could have done. Their corruption is now blatant and obvious. Where before a protest would take weeks to plan, now they form in days all around the world. The violation of one man's rights hits home because it's a threat to all of us. Anyone who values truth and liberty knows what his arrest means. It's a threat to anyone who may step out of line. The message is clear: don't challenge the nobility, or else. They arrested him and tried to silence any discussion of their crime. It didn't work. It only made matters worse because it became not just a direct abuse of Tommy, but a direct abuse on everyone. Their crime is against us, and it's against God. They sin without shame. European elites are illegitimate. They have no right to their position. Any nation that remains in the EU is acting against the interests of its own people. Marxist cancer infects it at the highest level, and the only way to solve the problem permanently is to cut it out. This is a warning to all. Do not let the enemy through the gates, because once they are in charge, they will do anything they can to keep power, even if it means destroying the lives of the subjects they are entrusted to protect. The enemy claims it is fighting the oppressor while it oppresses. It poses as tolerance, but destroys all that is beautiful and promotes all that is ugly. It calls itself diversity while silencing all dissent. It calls itself peace while sowing the seeds of war. It goes by many names, but there is only one true name for it: evil. You cannot break God's law without consequences. This is the cycle of human history. Universal laws of morality were set at the dawn of time. If we live by them, we prosper. If we break them, we stagnate, then crumble into darkness. Right now, the world is on the precipice. We have the choice to listen to God's warning or fall back into the pit. The 10 Commandments are not mere suggestions. They are damn well warnings. Live by the law of God or perish. Thou shalt not steal, yet governments steal our money every day for nothing more than buying votes. Thou shalt not murder, yet governments kill people in foreign lands, all for profit and power of elite individuals. Honour your father and your mother, yet those who rule us attack our heritage and shame us for enjoying the fruits of what they built for us by following God's laws. Those who place themselves as our rulers have broken every commandment. They covet, they bear false witness, they put themselves above God, and we all suffer for their tyranny. It doesn't matter if it's on the other side of the world. Their actions affect all of us in one way or another. Whether you believe in a creator or not, you cannot deny the truth. There are rules we all need to live by in order to grow and prosper. When we break those rules, things go badly, sometimes very quickly. The entire world is breaking those rules en masse. This ensures nothing but worldwide suffering. The rulers believe they are above God. They believe they have the right to rule over us for eternity. They have forgotten their place in the universe, and their sins make us all suffer. There is no such thing as social justice. There is only justice. There is only God's law. Rights are not granted by an all-powerful state. They are ordained upon us by virtue of existence. They are inalienable. The arrest and imprisonment of Tommy Robinson violates natural justice, and it violates the laws of God. Child rape gangs flourished for decades under the eye of the authorities, but those same authorities arrested a man for nothing more than reporting them. It is a warning to all of us what is truly at stake. Do not think this won't happen to you, because it's already happened to you. You are Tommy. I am Tommy. We are all Tommy Robinson. Never forget, those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable.